Hello, everyone. Coming to you again from my living room here in Colorado, and I suspect we've got hopefully some people watching this that are all over the place, and it's just a joy to have you here this morning. It's morning here in my living room, and I'm excited to share with you today because I've got something to share that I think can add value and benefit to your life. And if I, again, was going to maybe give this a title, I'd say A New Perspective. And I did something interesting recently. I decided some time ago that I was going to allow different voices in my life, different voices that maybe before I wouldn't have even considered. And, in thinking about that, I realized you got to be careful with that because, there are some voices I don't want in my life, right? But what about those voices that I just wouldn't normally, allow in my life for whatever reason, that maybe could bring me a new perspective? Doesn't mean that I have to listen to that perspective or own that perspective, but could it bring some value? And so this was just something that, I've been doing for a while. And I went to a friend of mine a while back. I say a friend, he's maybe more of an acquaintance, but so not somebody I know extremely well. And so I thought, he might have a new voice for me, a new perspective. And the funny thing is here's what I went to him with. I said, teach me what I don't know. And to me it's funny because how does he know what I don't know? Well, what I was really looking for is show me or tell me, teach me what you see. So I had a fairly specific thing in mind, and I kind of, set the stage and gave him, the scenario of what I was looking at. And I said, I know how I see it, but how do you see it? What do you see? And it was really pretty cool. We probably spent an hour and a half together. And in the end, I left that meeting with 2 or 3 key takeaways, things that I had not been seeing, right? So I didn't change everything that I saw or that I thought or believed by any means, but I had a couple of key points. And I thought, that's a cool experience. So then I bring that forward, and I think there's something as we walk with God, as we relate with Him, as we have relationship with Him on a day-by-day basis. There's something about it that, how I see it is how I see it. But what's God's view? What's God's opinion? I think that is a question and something that we should consider on a regular part in our lives, What is God's view? What is God's opinion? How does He see it? Because in the end, isn't that what really matters? I found a scripture recently. I'm sure it's one I've read many a time. It's in Romans 12 and verse 2. And I just find it interesting, particularly in this translation. But let me just read it to you. Don't copy the behavior or the customs of the world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Now that's key. I'll come back to that. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. See, that to me is so powerful. A lot of people are looking for God to do things in their lives. They're looking for a difference, and we should be. But how we look for it sometimes, I think, is maybe erroneous. Right? Because this verse tells us that God will transform us into a new person. And one of the chief ways He will do it is by changing the way we think. See, there's such power to renewing the mind to the way God sees it. So how do we do that? Well, let's ask Him. Let's ask Him what His opinion is. Let's spend time in the Bible. Let's read the Bible. Let's take time to see what He's told us down through the centuries. Maybe other people, as I shared in the beginning of this video, that it made a difference in my life when I went to a friend and said, what do you see? What's your perspective? So it's great to do it with friends, but let's do that with God. Here's my challenge for you, and the thing that I would give you that you could take and work into your life that might bring you a new perspective is ask yourself on a regular time, I mean day by day, moment by moment, what is God's view? What is God's opinion? How does He see it? Ask Him. read the Word. I think it can make a real difference in our lives, and that's why I share this with you today. So again, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to take a few minutes with me. And I'll be coming to you again in another month with another thought, another idea of something that I think can really make a difference in our lives. So God bless you. Thank you for your time. May you have an amazing month until we meet up again.